Thanks for stopping by, guys. It's Al here, playing some more Scrap Mechanic. I am doing these episodes back to back with the last Scrap Mechanic episode. I will not be doing crosscode this week, which I don't expect to be a problem for the majority of my viewers currently. With the success of my last gear car, I wanted to continue on it, and I'm just going to go ahead and show it real quick. This is the gear car V5, and it is lagging a lot because the engine is not on. As soon as I turn the engine on, it works frame rate wise for some reason. I'm going to go ahead and hop in it, get it going. Originally this was going to be a more complex car with the transmission and all these other knickknacks and useful things, but the problem came, originally I was going to have a first, a second, and a reverse. I had to get rid of the second gear because of frame rate issues, and I got the forward and reverse set up, but there was some bugs with the physics which caused the entire creation to spaz out. And at one point it kind of started to just float away, and I didn't understand why, but it did. So eventually I did have to get rid of the transmission. However, I did kind of make a kind of makeshift reverse and forward gear by changing the timing of the engine. I can see right now we are going forward at a decent pace actually. But if I turn off the engine real quick and I hit 2, you'll see that the plates that are in front of the engine move, and that changes the timing. Now if I turn the engine back on, the engine will be working in reverse. It is a bit slower in reverse and is a bit less efficient in reverse, but it's not that big of an issue. It is reverse. You're not supposed to be using it as often. As are my normal cars, I do have the flywheel, the gearbox, and I still have the stiff axle. That is something I would like to work on in the future, is possibly putting some sort of suspension on this. Due to the limitations of the game, I don't think I'll be able to do any kind of transmissions or anything anytime soon. But I do want to make a full suspension vehicle at some point, and I also want to make a four-wheel drive vehicle at some point. Here's something I noticed when I was making this. So if I go into this, turn the switch off, I am in forward. Okay. I think this is kind of funny. You'll see what I mean in here in a second. I'm chugging along pretty well. If I hit 2, I'll switch into reverse. It'll take a second, and then it'll catch up, and now I'm in reverse. But if I'm in reverse and then I try and switch back to forward, all of a sudden I go into hyper reverse, where I just start flying along faster than I would be forward. I tried to set this up where it would act in forward, creating a, I guess to say, simulate a second gear almost. But every time I try it, it would jam and send me in reverse as normal, instead of sending me into second gear. I just thought this was an interesting little mistake, I would call it, which I have dubbed the hyper reverse. Interesting. Not very useful, but interesting. But I am going to go ahead and turn the engine off. Need to put it in first or forward, turn it on, and we will continue forward. One problem with the hyper reverse, as I'm referring to it, is if it does get jammed, it will just default back to going forward, because it's how it's set up. It's really weird what causes it. It's the momentum of the engine and all that fun stuff. So the engine losing momentum, it will actually go back into forward instead of reverse, and all kinds of fun stuff. Things to talk about. As you can see, it is very similar to Gear Car V4. The biggest change in this one is actually the engine. This one has a 3-wide crankshaft instead of a 5-wide. This means that the overall RPMs of the engine is higher, but the torque that the engine puts out by normal is lower, which, using the gear down system I use, torque isn't a big issue. And actually this one is, from what I've been able to test, it is faster and it is more powerful. like just as a general overall. I think it's caused because the way this engine is set up, I think it's hard to explain, like, because it's a smaller crankshaft, doesn't have to move as far, meaning it's easier to get the higher RPMs. The higher RPMs mean that if there is a jam, it's more likely that the engine can just chug through it without slowing too badly, whereas with the other one, any kind of problem would cause the engine to slow to a crawl where it would most likely jam at that point, which was an issue. As you can see, we're taking this terrain pretty well. I do want to see if I can take it up that hill. That hill is not something that the V4 could conquer. I want to see if the V5 can conquer it. The old V2 maybe the V2, not the V1. V1 couldn't even get off of flat ground very well. So let's see if the V5 can conquer this hill. It's gonna take us forever though. I'm tempted, I'm very much tempted just to do the time lapse. I really enjoy those. They're very calming in my opinion. If you enjoy them, let me know. I'll do more of those like little drive around time lapses I've been doing. If you enjoy them, let me know in the comments. If not, I'll just do this where I try and attempt to commentate over random shit that's not really important. Yes. We are chugging along. We are slowing down quite a bit. But I don't really expect us to jam up or stop anytime soon. It is getting difficult to turn because there is some sort of glitch in the engine. You can see the engine's buckling every once in a while because of the use of springs, because I need blocks that can be transparent. Thinking about ways I could do that. I'm tired. Yes, I'm yawning. Sorry about that. That was probably loud. Oh no. We are climbing up this hill. Quite easily, in fact. I do have to say, I think this is the smallest gear car yet. Maybe the V4 was smaller. I really doubt it because of the way I did the rear axle. It's really close up against that gearbox. Come on. The little engine that could just chug, 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 chug. Engine has a nice rhythm to it. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm just drifting off the edge of the mountain. Hit it in reverse, hit it in reverse, hit it in reverse. The sheer weight of the front end of this seems to be the main kicker. The front end's just falling down the mountain. So I don't think it's a problem with the power of the vehicle. I think it's a problem with the weight distribution of the vehicle. Maybe if I had a proper suspension, I might have been able to do that. But I'm not sure exactly what the big issue is there. Huh. Interesting. I'll have to look into that. But overall, it's a very stable craft. I kind of want to put it up against like the V4 and all them just to see what speeds are. That'll be something I'll have to do in the future. Like all my gear cars, which one's the fastest, which one's the most powerful, which one can go uphill the best, and all those fun things. This is the first gear car that has a yawn, which has an actual reverse built into it. Yes, it's not like a gear system. It's based on the engine's rotation. But given the limitations of the game and the game's physics engine, I think it's understandable. So I really don't think there is much else to show. I've kind of shown everything. I think I've talked about everything that needs to be talked about. For the most part, this is a gear car V4 with a better engine setup. Instead of the 5 wide crankshaft, is a 3 wide crankshaft. This does have a timing system on the engine, which allows it to work in reverse. It is a lot shorter, but once again, it is just kind of a improvement on my normal gear car. Will it go up this hill? Ooh, that is the question. It's steep, actually, for one of these cars. Don't drift off. Oh, it just drifted right on off. I'm glad we didn't scrape any of the gears across the ground. That would have been pretty bad. But we did get over that. Impressed. I'm actually quite impressed. But I think I'm going to go ahead and end the episode here. There really isn't much else to show. If you guys want me to do some more of these like time-lapse things I've been doing at the end of the videos with some of these creations which are a bit slower, let me know. I don't have any plans of doing one for this episode. I am a bit tired. If you haven't been able to tell, I'm yawning a lot, which is kind of normal for me as I record for some reason. But anyway, if you did enjoy this gear car, please leave a like. If you have any suggestions for future videos, please leave them in the comments down below. If you enjoy the channel, enjoy what I'm doing, please subscribe. It helps out a lot. If you like to go above and beyond, please share the channel with a friend. It helps get the channel some more exposure, helps the channel grow quicker, and it just in general helps out a lot. So if you... I almost restarted. So until next time, this has been Al working on the Gear Car V4. Hopefully next time I'll have a fully functional like suspension and or fully functional 4-wheel drive, which are both goals of mine. So until next time, peace.